The little firefly who couldn't glow. Flicker was a little firefly, but he had a big problem. All the other fireflies in his meadow shimmered and shone, their little lights blinking on and off in a dazzling display. They looked like tiny stars dancing in the night. But Flicker just flickered. Sometimes his light would come on for a tiny second, a little spark, and then nothing. He was Flicker the Flickerer, not Flicker the Shiner. He tried everything. He ate the juiciest glow berries, the ones his mama said were full of light power. He did firefly exercises, wiggling his bottom extra hard, just like his dad showed him. He even tried talking to his light, whispering, "Come on, little light, you can do it." But nothing worked. Flicker felt so sad. Every night, while the other fireflies put on their magnificent light show, he hid under a big, velvety leaf, feeling like a tiny, dim bulb in a world of bright stars. He longed to join the dazzling dance, to twirl and whirl with the others, painting the night with streaks of light. One night, Flicker was feeling particularly glum. He sat alone on a dewy mushroom, watching the other fireflies twinkle. Suddenly, he heard a tiny sob. He looked around and saw a little glowworm curled up in a ball, crying. "What's wrong?" Flicker asked gently. I can't glow," the glowworm whispered. "I'm supposed to light up the path for the lost beetles, but my light just won't come on." Flicker felt a pang of sympathy. He knew exactly how the glowworm felt. "I can't glow either," he admitted. "My light just flickers." The glowworm looked up, surprised. "Really? But all the other fireflies, they shine so brightly," Flicker finished sadly. "But maybe we can help each other." He had an idea. He remembered something his grandpa Firefly had told him. Sometimes, Grandpa Firefly had said, light isn't just about shining bright. It's about sharing what you have. Flicker explained his idea to the glowworm. "You can't glow brightly," he said, "and I can only flicker. But if we work together..." The glowworm looked at him, hope flickering in his tiny eyes. Flicker and the glowworm went to the edge of the meadow, where the path to the beetle's burrow began. The glowworm nestled himself on a small twig right at the beginning of the path. Flicker positioned himself just above the glowworm. "Ready?" Flicker asked. The glowworm nodded. Flicker took a deep breath and focused all his energy. He thought about the juicy glow berries, the firefly exercises, and Grandpa Firefly's words. He whispered to his light, "Come on, little light, we have to help." And then it happened. Flicker's light flickered on, not just for a tiny second, but for a little bit longer. And when it flickered, it reflected off the glowworm's back, catching the tiny bit of light the glowworm did have. The combined light wasn't as bright as the other fireflies, but it was enough. It was a small, steady beam, just enough to light the beginning of the path. The lost beetles, who were indeed lost and very tired, saw the faint light. "Look," one of them cried, "a light. We're saved." They followed the little beam, guided by the combined flickers and gleams of Flicker and the glowworm. They thanked Flicker and the glowworm profusely and scurried safely back to their burrow. Flicker and the glowworm looked at each other. They hadn't shone brightly, but they had shone together. They had used their combined light, however small, to help others. That night, Flicker didn't hide under a leaf. He sat on his mushroom, feeling a different kind of glow inside. He still flickered, but he didn't feel sad anymore. He knew that even a little light shared with a friend could make a big difference, and that, he realized, was something truly special. From that night on, Flicker the Flickerer became Flicker the Helper, and he knew that helping others was the brightest light of all.